The world has unfortunately drowned. It is now up to me to take the remains of each nation and try to build a new civilization. I will do this through careful resource management, ensuring justice for all, and thorough planning. This is the situation we find ourselves in with All Will Fall, a post-apocalyptic colony builder that allows you to explore the moral implications of slavery and resource hoarding with a physics-based construction system. This video is sponsored by TinyBuild, who have allowed me to run a social experiment in my colony. See, we're going to be doing the oil tanker start, where our survivors stumble upon a ship. We are in search of land and require fuel to progress to another area. I say social experiment because my colony is made up of the now defunct world leaders of nations such as the USA, UK, China, and the Federated States of Micronesia. We will be joined by many more nations over the course of this video, and will lose even more due to certain events. Our ultimate aim is to build a ship that doesn't break down and to eventually find land, but things aren't going to be as straightforward as that. I would very much recommend getting this game for yourself. It's a fantastic colony sim with satisfying construction and tech progression, with a bunch of campaign starts and even Steam Workshop maps. Plus, you have the option to beat children who steal. You can also help me out by using the link in the pinned comment to check out the game and see if it's your thing. It's currently running a limited time discount. For now though, I think I see something over the horizon. Unfortunately, the Germans were driving the ship we start in, and so... we crashed a boat into a boat! It might be in a less than ideal condition, but so are several of the modern world leaders, so with a bit of effort, we might just be able to make it work. However, the UK is getting a little bit nervous about sharing a boat, so we quickly need to deconstruct our old vessel before she gets any ideas and Brexit. We're going to need every single scrap of metal we can get our hands on, so we get started by building some storage, and set our inhabitants to clearing what resources we can find here. Some of the resources are up high, so we need to use some advanced technology to get up there, called ladders. I joke, but because everything is physics-based in this game, this is gonna get much more complicated in future. It's quickly apparent though that some world leaders take a little bit more convincing than others. Alright, Canada's getting to work, so is China. Who's slacking off? Iceland! Get your ass back to work! Before long, we find enough fuel to begin the search for land. This lot want actual territory to rule over, and so that's our goal. On the way, we investigate something on the horizon, which turns out to be more world leaders, who are more than welcome to join, provided they remember who's in charge. It's like the UN, only I'm the only one with veto powers, and if you disagree with me, you're immediately dissolved as a country. Joining us are Denmark, Mexico, Ireland, and India. Before the world flooded, these four leaders were involved in a high-level meeting in an ambitious fusion food restaurant discussion. The floods might have been the lesser of two evils, actually. At our new location, we find some ruins. These contain valuable resources like wood and loot boxes. Up here, we can see what we've currently got. We need water to drink and use, food to eat, junk as a resource, and wood to build, burn, and use. There's also metals, tools, goods, and sand, electricity, but given we've just figured out how to fish, that's a little bit beyond us right now. The most important thing to us right now is fuel, of which we need 60 to travel, and if we're caught out, well, you'll see. This all means we need to gather as many resources as possible, which we do by building a demolition hut. Workers assigned here, like the USA, will go around tearing apart rubble and turning them into resources. For now, that's everything on the boat, but a discovery I make changes our timeline. Food, file of food. Okay, we need to get that. We need that desperately. Right, I need to go from here to here. That might look like a simple task, but this is a physics-based game. If there's too much stress on one point or too much weight on another, then down goes the bridge. I promise I'll get better at this, but for now, behold, the world's biggest bridge. Yes, technically right now it's the world's only bridge, but I'd like to see you do better, France. Once the USA and UK clear the rubble, the unassigned inhabitants can grab the food from the pile. Ireland and Luxembourg go on and gather the food. Thanks, lads. Make sure to share, please. Especially you, Luxembourg. Wait, they're both the tax havens? No, the tax haven countries have nicked the food. Perhaps hearing of our good fortune, more world leaders make their way over. This time, we add Spain, Portugal, South Africa, and Nigeria into the mix. All four of these are in the Sailors faction. We have three factions, the Workers, the Sailors, and the Engineers. Each faction has a leader. For example, the USA starts as leader of the Workers, the Engineers are led by Brazil, and the Germans are in charge of the Navy, something I wasn't best pleased about. German sailors, that just feels wrong. I'm just gonna say it. It just does. I'm happy with American workers and Brazilian engineers. German sailors, that rubs me the wrong way. But I think also I'm English, so that's probably why. We can make deals with each faction to make them happy. For example, when the USA bribed me to move his faction into better homes. Okay, I'm gonna try it. Bribe me and I'll bribe them.
Corruption is not bad. Corruption is only bad if I'm not involved. But if I'm part of that corruption, I'll defend it.
We're a long way from being unreliant on the ruins we come across, But we do need some domestic production, so I place fishing huts and wood catchers off the side of the boat and build a couple of wood boilers. Wood catchers catch wood, which we can use to get water from the boilers. The supply chains will get even more complex later, and China is licking his lips right now at the thought of it, but for now this very inefficient system will give us something, at least. Having cleared my makeshift bridges, it's time to set sail. This was a mistake, but I won't realize it for some time. The next set of ruins aren't nearly as easy to get to. This means we're going to need a bridge. After reinforcing it, it is safe to traverse, but just to be sure, we'll let the French test it first. Accessing this ruin gives me a bunch of wood to use for my next plan, houses. Apparently, being exposed to the salty air and periodic rain is bad for your skin, and every single inhabitant has seen fit to complain.
Captain!
We don't exactly have that much space, but we build a couple of shacks around and force them to share. They immediately complain about this, but fortunately these are all politicians we're working with, so a simple bribe goes a long way. And with that we've successfully solved homelessness. We've solved homelessness! That's something you lot never did! On day 6, we finished clearing the ship of all rubble, just in time for Jamaica and Haiti to join, bringing with them their own small boat. This is incredibly useful, as it means we can build a dock and the islanders can travel around picking up floating debris. I didn't know it yet, but this boat would become our lifeline and the only thing stopping complete collapse. But that's later on in the video. With our new resources, we create larger houses, but just for the worker class, because the USA bribed us again. But don't worry, we cut off their rations first when times get tough. Another truly incredible bridge gives us access to a new ruin, one that houses a peculiar object. Those aren't my words, that's the game description. Whenever I read something like that, I get all itchy. I get ready to gamble. It's not a sickness, I can quit whatever I want. We sent out 2 engineers to open it, and in there is the link for you to go get this game. Woo! That's a hit, baby! Spin it again! Let it ride! On day 8, I make a discovery. The hell is Hell Rain? What is Hell Rain? Why is Hell Rain on this? What? Hell Rain is going to be our first, second, and final boss. We always have to try and outrun it, and if we don't, well, you'll find out why we have to later. In the meantime, there's some discontent about water rations, but the game gives me the greatest option I've ever seen. But I'm not heartless. See? Meantime, enjoy leisure, chaps. A bench. 2 benches. Presumably impressed by our benches and heart of gold, we get new recruits in the form of Japan, Italy, and Venezuela. We're just about to get them into a shack when the sky goes red and the winds pick up. Hell rain! Oh my god. Okay, yeah, we gotta go. We have to go. Okay, we're leaving. Oh, this is gonna suck. Okay, go. Split off. Fortunately, we still have fuel, and so we escape. This time. This was not without complete cost though, as our ship has been damaged whilst fleeing. We can pay the cost of 30 metal, but without domestic production, we're relying heavily on luck. Also along the way, we sadly lost the Vietnamese. But in loss, there can also be opportunity. Easy. Done. It's not long before the others find out what they've been eating, but they're surprisingly cool with it. With that, the new UN, the NUN, passes its second resolution. Cannibalism is illegal. Well, this works. There's a lost child. Among these ruins, we set to work claiming junk from the sea, scaling towers to access water, and handling logistics. We even managed to build a greenhouse, where the Irish immediately begin farming potatoes. But it's not long before the hell rain returns, tinging everything in red and bringing a sense of dread. Right, everyone on board? Alright, we've got enough for one more trip, and then we've got to sort out fuel production. For now, though, we quickly head out to a new set of ruins. Once again, taking damage. I create a new section on the ship, specifically for energy and future fuel production. We've been steadily unlocking technologies, but I've not really been building those buildings, focusing instead on good old-fashioned manpower to collect resources from the ruins. This is something that I will regret. As we're clearly using human resources, when a certain opportunity comes up, there's only one choice. Would I like to buy people? No! Laith, no, we can't! We can't! Game, no! Come on, man! We're gonna buy a slaver to trade people? Oh, well, okay. Welcome to the crew Unified Korea, which, incidentally, was the civilization with the longest unbroken chain of slavery in the world. Later, some people come looking for Korea, who I'm starting to suspect isn't actually a world leader, but we politely see them off. In their hurry to leave, once we show them around the ship and show them our decorations, they drop a blueprint. This is our end goal, a massive ship capable of sailing continuously, making our tanker look like we're sailing in a bucket and paddle. For that, we're going to need a lot of advanced resources. metal, fuel, and tools. We make a start with buying some metal from a wandering trader, but not everyone is on board with our plans for the future. Let's pay people to find out who's trying to overthrow us.
Captain! Captain! We have a major...
Oh my god. Oh, okay. Who is it? It's one of Australia, Tunisia, China, Mexico, Denmark, Ireland, Luxembourg, Haiti, Jamaica, and Brazil. All right. Who is it? It was Brazil! My god, who's the leader of the Brazilians now? China! My god. Having dealt with Brazil, China spearheads our development and we innovate a huge technology. The wheel. This might not look like much, but when an Italian man runs really fast on it, we have power. Content to slowly develop, I'd forgotten one key factor. The Hell Rain. Ah, here comes the Hell Rain now. That's a bit problematic because previously we could just kind of escape, and this time we can't. Oh! My god, it just completely destroyed half a building. If that hits our ship, it's over. Oh! Oh my god! What was that? I mean, I mean, it's opened up a lot of space, I'll say that much.
And only one person lost.
Oh! That's all gonna collapse. Oh my god, we need fuel desperately. No! What just broke? Oh, he smashed through an entire house. Everyone's homeless. Like it's destroyed. It destroyed every house under here. No! No! It's a greenhouse! Oh my god, it's all gone. It's a tragedy. No! What happened this time? That's the back half of the boat! The back of the boat! Okay. It's done, but oh my god! Everything is gone. Everything is gone. All of our storage, everything is completely gone. This is what the boat looked like at the start of this video, and this is it now. We have no water, no food, no supplies, nothing, just 11 wood. The Hell Rain took out all of our storage. The ruins around us have been completely destroyed, and there's nothing to scavenge. This is as hopeless a situation as you can feasibly get. But there is one thing that you've not accounted for. The Iberians. Remember when I said that one singular boat would be our lifeline? Braving the storm, Spain and Portugal have managed to keep this tiny boat alive, and from it we're going to build a civilization. We have just enough resources to build a dock, allowing the Iberians to get to work. However, whereas previously I've been very cavalier with my approach, we now have to manage every single resource down to the single number. First, a fishing hut to get some food going, along with a replacement greenhouse. Then, 2 wood boilers to get us some water. Bear in mind we're burning wood to do this, so the Iberians need to work around the clock. Unfortunately, the dire situation is not sitting well with many of the nations, and soon we will lose most of them. I cannibalize what wood I can to make homes, but it's clear not everyone will stay. And speaking of cannibalizing, okay, that gives us 64. Now, we're gonna have to do something horrible here. We put out the call for volunteers. What nation would sacrifice themselves to save the others? To my complete shock, France begins to slowly move towards the hut. The French? Being selfless? A life in the UK has bred me to think a certain way, but I realize now, France is a nation of honor, willing to step up when no one else would and make the ultimate sacrifice. Oh no, wait. No, France is the worker. He's not sacrificing himself. He stepped in as the chef. Well, that resolves my worldview at least. Things go from bad to worse as some rogue nations hear about our situation. Oh my god. They told me this place had plenty of stuff, but by the looks of it, we should have brought something for you and said, yeah, if you don't mind, fill our boats. There's nothing we can do. Oh, he's taken all our food, water, and fuel. After this, the timer to build houses runs out, and only a handful of nations remained. We've also gone down to 12 people. Who are the 12 that stayed? Australia, Canada, Denmark, the Federated States of Micronesia, France, Germany, Iceland, India, Mexico, Tunisia, the UK, and the USA. And with these individuals, we will build a society. A better society. Okay, probably not better, but it'll, you know, oh my god. If we get hit with more Hell Rain, it's yeah. We might have lost everything, but we do keep our research. Things like wood catchers we can build from the get-go. We also have tech for passive water collection, which we can attach directly to our water storage. That was our gameplay loop for the next while. Slowly gather what flotsam we can, and then build up sustainably with resource generation. The irony of being forced to use sustainable practices after my unsustainable practices got my resources wiped completely is not lost on me. On day 24, this is what our ship looks like, which is a bit bare, but a far cry from what we began with. Finally building a lab once more, we research wood cultivation to try to develop some production capability. This is going to be crucial for us. So this consumes 6 wood and produces 12 water. But the wood consumes 14, produces 10. That ratio works. So we can turn wood into more wood. We're also going to need to look at trying to collect some junk. The only issue being that it's going to require electricity. Even though everything had collapsed, I was genuinely having a blast. Oh, look at that. So United States still head of the workers. Germany has resumed their head of the sailors. And the engineers are led by Tunisia. Let's go, boys! In the meantime, I tried several times to build a bridge to the only ruin that remained, but it was just tantalizingly out of reach. I tried for days straight to try and make this work. Well, back to messing around with this. That fuel right there would be enough to get us out of here, but I can't quite get there. Once the electric junk catch is researched, we're going to need to put up some human hamster wheels. Over the long days we've been stuck, I'd managed to get a good production of food and clean water going, so right when we need bodies turn up. Oh my god, okay, yes. Welcome to the crew, Madagascar, Greenland, and the Maldives, along with Egypt, Norway, Togo, and Thailand. Thank you for your service, and your legs. It was at this point I started to take things really, really seriously. Okay, what does a recycling center do? It requires electricity. We're really not, electricity is not yeah, that's not a thing for us. I need to start, let me get a pen and paper. I need to start actually, if we're gonna come back from the devastation, we need to start doing some maths. This approach worked, and after a few days, we're in the green across all important resources and beginning to slowly get back to where we were. We're even slowly collecting junk with this contraption. For the sake of brevity, I've cut out how long I've been complaining about not having junk to build with, but rest assured, it's been a little problematic. Just E5 junk, please! I thought the oceans were meant to be polluted. Where's the plastic? Oh, come on! With that sorted, it's time to set ourselves up for a loftier goal. To get moving again, we're not going to just need 60 fuel, we're also going to need 30 metal to fix the ship. For this, we'll need a metal dredger, which requires more power than almost every single person we have on hamster wheels. Now, don't get me wrong, I love forced labor as much as the next guy, but if we tell Australia to get in and run, I don't think it'll go well for us. We begin to research a wooden wind turbine, which is like the hamster wheels, but the wind does the running. It's less fun. The issue is that the turbine needs free space to work at 100% efficiency, which, makes sense. Damn your physics-based game! I create a little outcropping for the turbine, and then reinforce it to stop it collapsing into the ocean. Space is starting to be a problematic factor for us, so I begin experimenting with ways of expanding. My girlfriend has a degree in physics, whereas I have one in environmental science. I can comfortably say in this scenario where the apocalypse has happened due to environmental reasons, mine is slightly more useless after the fact. My failures to expand and build a bridge prompted me to do some testing, getting a better grasp of the physics behind this whole thing. Perhaps impressed by my diligence, Honduras, Albania, Sri Lanka, as well as Sealand, that last one is a great addition as they're used to living on a pile of junk in the middle of the ocean. Researching a metal crane, we put it to work immediately, dismantling a nearby ruin for metal. And by immediately, I meant I spent a day making a bridge. It did work eventually though. Upgrading the homes of our people also made them much happier, giving them dreams of lofty ambitions such as electric water desalination. Our first breakthrough comes with the research of a metal boat. This bad boy can also pick up bits of metal floating about, making it a crucial addition, something that I was very excited about. Yes, it's picking up floating metal. Okay, we're going to need a lot of it to research wood to fuel. Things are looking really good, but in part that's because the Iberians have been working overtime collecting materials for the past 20 days, primarily wood. If that supply runs dry, we'll have no way to produce water and the whole system will come crumbling down. To stop that, we retool our logistics and up our production of wood. Just in time too, as wood to fuel has just finished researching, and it's time to put it down. Spotting the smoke this generates, a group sails over and we're joined by Singapore, Argentina, and Chad. This game has made me do something I've never done before. I'm organizing. Out over here, I'm creating a wing dedicated to water production, and out the back, I'm creating space to continue this area for housing. What have I become? Just as we're settling in though, a tiny sliver of red makes itself known. No, that looks like hell rain. Okay, we gotta go. In pure panic, I briefly mistook this heavy storm for hell rain. Still not great, but not apocalyptic. This does cement the fact that we need to be ready to leave. Throwing everything I have into metal and fuel, I use the space on the back of the ship for a metal dredger. We don't exactly have all the power for it right now, but in an emergency, everyone will get on the wheels. It's in this desperate state I make a stunning revelation. I tilt the camera forward, and okay, what I think I need to start doing is building up. I've been thinking in 2 dimensions this entire time, but like a true visionary, I am now thinking outside the square and inside the box. Reinforcing the supports with arches, it might just be enough to allow us to build on top. Let's put a ladder up here. All right, moment of truth. Oh my god, it actually does work. Oh boy. Oh, it's beautiful. We can now shift our sun distilleries and greenhouses up, leaving whole new sections to build it. We put it to good use with a big water desalination plant. With this and the dredger though, we're in a massive power deficit, and I'm really not liking how low that water amount is. More turbines just don't have any place to go, and so we need to expand our 3rd floor. On the bright side, we have just sold this one square to the UK for £4.3 billion because they assume we're still in London. Shifting the wood boilers to join the desalination plant does free up some space for the turbines. They are incredibly heavy, however, so they can't just be thrown down. Even with all this, it's still just not enough energy. And it was time for desperate measures. The Baltic states have floated over and are looking to join. The price of entry for Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia is to immediately be deployed on the wheels. And boy, did they run. Single-handedly saving us as the desalinators roared into life just before we completely ran out of water. With that, we can focus again on steel and fuel production. After several long weeks since Zeus took personal front to us, we fixed the boat and prepared to sail away. We're setting course! Oh my god, yes. These might be ruins, but to me, they are palaces. That doesn't mean we're out of the woods. In my hurry, all our resources were being depleted, so we had to move quickly. Building a questionable bridge to the closest ruin, I built a demolition hut. And once again, led by the USA, a team of workers go out to strip the land of anything valuable. I just want to include this clip. Now, what would I need sand for? You see, to build that endgame boat, we're going to need 300 steel, 300 fuel, and 60 tools. Something that's not only going to require sand, but whole industries. We might be out of the frying pan, but it's straight to the fire for none. That doesn't mean we can't enjoy ourselves, however. You know what I miss our little hanging man decorations. There we go. These are the people that abandoned us last time. This sentiment is shared with our workers, who have had their loyalty increase so much that Team USA gives us a bunch of bonuses. An expansion to the 3rd floor gives me a chance to appreciate the aesthetics of the place. The decision to build around these obsolete catches is definitely that and not laziness. I'm not the only one that thinks so, as, like Master of Flame, Morocco, Sweden, and the Netherlands join in. But the main reason for the expansion is the plan to build solar panels on top of the roof. Sorry, sun energy boiler. This uses water to produce electricity, which we can use to produce clean water. And what's that sound? Oh, hell rain, hell rain, hell rain, hell rain, hell rain. We force our people to work the night shift, force the Baltic boys to run even faster, and generally prepare for the nightmare to begin again. Then, the screen goes fully red and debris goes flying everywhere. The hell rain has just begun, but we are just a few hours away from having enough fuel to escape. Come on, one more hour. Go, 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 oh my god! Taking a couple of deep breaths and settling down a bit, I take stock of our current location. There are only a few ruins here, but one is very easily accessible. Seeking shelter from the chasing rain, a huge influx of nations comes in, with Bolivia, Croatia, Tanzania, Ghana, Andorra, Bosnia, and Malaysia joining none. With actual energy production, we can begin to do what matters most: gambling. I chanced the locked entrance, and after tireless hours of work, I'm rewarded with a plethora of rats, or as I call them, free calories. The influx of food means we can do away with the fishing huts. This was a genuinely sad moment for me, as yeah, having advanced food crops is nice, but this lot kept us alive in our hardest moments. Still, this means resources can be devoted to our end goal, the end gold ship. Again, to build this behemoth, we're going to need 300 steel, 300 fuel, and 60 tools. The fuel and steel at this point are difficult, but doable, but I have no idea how to make tools. It turns out that for tool production, we need sand, and for sand, we're going to need a sand extractor. So get researching, boys. This undertaking is going to require huge amounts of power and fuel, and we're in more of an energy deficit than the UK, so I get to work on our solar power. We are progressing steadily, but our fuel count keeps on getting knocked back by constant threats of hell rain, as well as fungus taking over our people and turning them into zombies, forcing us to burn them alive. Still, before the apocalypse comes again, we manage to just keep out of its reach. Away we go. But then, as the screen fades to black, suddenly the USA starts convulsing. Without saying a word, he points to something on the horizon. He's just smelled oil. In a floating pile of debris, there's ridiculous amounts of fuel just lying there. Thank God for pollution. We spend the next 3 days collecting up fuel, and on day 61, we finish researching the sand extractor. The Baltic people cry out as they see me demolish their Sisyphean dream. That's a hard one. The Baltic people cry out as they see me demolish their Sisyphean. The Baltic people cry out as they see me demolish their Sisyphean dream in front of them, replacing wheels with our new toy. We continue to the next set of ruins, but a new problem rears its ugly head. Now, we will get into a negative feedback loop if we're not careful, where we don't have enough water to produce electricity, so we don't have enough electricity to produce water. All the new people have this nasty habit of drinking valuable water that we need for industry. Those people include newcomers, 𝔹𝕆𝔸𝕋, and the Byzantine Empire. I was initially going to reject them from the boat because, you know, those nations don't exist. Before realizing that actually this is the apocalypse and technically none of these nations on board exist. Plus, the Byzantines are immediately elected head of the sailors, so they've still got that political edge. Meanwhile, just a shout out to the USA, they've maintained leadership of the workers this entire time, from the start to the Hell Reign and beyond. It's only 3 days of looting before I have to once again cut ties with this place and sail away. The Hell Reign is still driving us off from places, but we are getting just a little bit more done each time. Tools production, for example, has been researched, and we're almost ready to take that next step. The main issue is I have nowhere to put it at the moment. So one cheeky extension later, and I've got the space. This does distract me though, and when the sun inconveniently does its thing of switching off for the night, we're plunged into a water shortage that's only solved by very fortunately finding water on this ruin. We very clearly need more energy, but what if instead of setting the Baltics loose on the wheels again, we get the sea to run the wheels instead? These are the kinds of tricks that Big Poseidon doesn't want you to know. Day 70 sees us leave again, dipping onto our fuel reserves, but I have a plan that's going to solve both the water and fuel needs. Junk boilers. This magical device turns our abundant, useless junk into wonderful fuel and water. Is that water carcinogenic? Yeah, obviously, it's made of burned trash. Placing it down really cemented the lessons learned from climate change. Pollution is fine, provided you come out on top. Okay, I don't have any idea how to shoehorn this into the video, but look how pretty my bridges have gotten. I know it doesn't look like much, but a few hours ago I was doing this. As Hell Reign forces us to move on yet again on day 75, we're slowly but surely building all the resources we need, having already hit the 60 tools goal and steadily heading towards our steel needs. We arrive in what will be, for better or for worse, our final location. I make the fateful decision to throw everything we have into fuel production to make up the numbers, which will cause a cascading failure. There's no way around that. We either build the end goal ship or this is it. Trying to buy time, I throw together some ladders and grab what few supplies are in easy reach. We're even repurposing housing, leaving many without a home. That's just how thin the margins are. We hit our steel target, meaning everything can be thrown at fuel production, but with Hell Reign on the horizon, I get a little bit nervous. Come on, just need the fuel before the Hell Reign comes. At our worst moment, some children are caught stealing water, so they're naturally beaten publicly. I mean, yeah, switching off the steel and tool production has led to a surplus of water, rendering the stealing sort of a moot point, but it's more about the principle at stake. As day 80 looms, the Hell Reign begins, but we hit our targets and begin the construction of the end goal boat. If the flying debris hits the construction midway through, it's over for us. This is it. Build it, get the workers! Everyone, go build it, boys! Ghana, the Federated States of Micronesia, build! Argentina, Mexico, India, Tunisia, they've been there since the start, come on! Oh my god. Come on, lads, hurry up. It's 11% build! Stop everything you're doing. Stop everything you're doing. Go and build. Go and help build. Oh, we are so dead. Everyone needs to be working on this. Oh, it's starting to get really bad. It's starting to get really bad. No one's seen such a united effort before. Oh, no, everything's collapsing. Hurry up. Hurry up. Yes, it's done. It's done. Go, go, go. Oh! Oh my god, he shattered my dog! Jesus, look at that! And with that, the nun sails off into the sunset. I hope there's land out there, else things might get a little bit French. Thanks again to TimeBuild for sponsoring this video, and please do make sure to pick it up for yourself using the link in the pinned comment. Not only is this game heaps of fun, it also helps me out if you do so. Make sure to like the video and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.